Hi gorgeous human, this is Cali Anca from the Gentle Awakening, and in the video of today we are going to speak about states of consciousness and how we can use this knowledge so that we can have more ease, flow and gracefulness into our daily lives.
¿Para qué sufrir si no hace falta?
In the video of today we are going to share about states of consciousness or states of mind. I use these terms interchangeably. And how we can actually understand them. What are they and what is the best approach to have? And sometimes we speak about a better state of consciousness than another, or more high frequency or low frequency. So we are going to understand a bit better what actually they are and what is actually the purpose of understanding them, because we don't just want to bring more knowledge into our minds, but we want to bring more ease and flow into our daily lives. To understand states of consciousness and to understand how we can actually travel through them and go through them and how we can use them into our daily lives, I'm going to use the analogy of a book, and I have a book here with me. We are going to take a book and we are going to consider these pages of this book as being states of consciousness. All these pages represent states of consciousness. What happens many times is that we are having 2 or 3 default states of consciousness that we use in general. You can call them roles if you want in your daily life, or attitudes, and they usually bring patterns into the body, into how we react, how we respond, how we take on life. You may have one of these for your work, for your family, as a father, as a mother, for your friends. You may have different states of consciousness that you use in your daily life, and that you know that, oh, you're going to meet your friends, so you are going to put your fun, light and easy mask on that will make you have a good time with your friends. All these states of consciousness, we use 2 or 3 maybe in a very common repetitive life. We use 2 or 3 that we have to have ease and alignment with the requirements of the society of today, and we are just using them. We don't think too much about this. Sometimes extraordinary things happen into our life that force us to look at things from a different perspective. This is when we are faced to connect with a different state of consciousness that brings extraordinary attitudes from us, reactions from us, and new thoughts appear, and new feelings appear, and new experiences appear into our lives. I want you to see that there are absolutely infinite number of states of consciousness. There are so many. Yes, we are used with few, and each time we turn a new page, we are going to experience new sensations, new things, new life, new language, new everything. It's like a new birth has happened within us, because we are now connected with a new state. And all these are experiences that we can connect with. Most likely we will not, and that are in our path to engage. So the pages that, using this analogy with the book, the pages that we are going to connect with throughout this life, they belong to our path. They are part of our journey, part of our experience, and they are here to lead us to our destined place. So sometimes we may find states of consciousness that are deeply painful, that are deeply unpleasant. They bring so much discomfort, and we are going to face new things in life. We are going to read new things about this page, yes, and we are going to face new parts of ourselves, because the state of consciousness is a part of ourself. And this is usually how we see this, is that something happens from life for us, and this new state of consciousness arises, and we say, usually it happens that we say that, oh, because of this situation, because of this person, this happened, and now I have to change everything, and now everything is like that. And I do invite you to look at the experiences that happen for you in your life as invitations for you to read yet another page from your book. The book is who you are, and there are the states of consciousness, and life provides for you information, provides for you opportunities for wisdom through different things. You can also meet a state of consciousness that brings so much blissfulness and so much surrendering and the experience of complete union that provides for you a state that you never connected with before. And this is also part of life. This is also a new page that you can connect with. Ultimately, you are not any of these. Yes, these are all states of consciousness, but they are not who you are. What I want us to look at and to consider is that as usually because of the way of life in the society of today, we kind of remain on the three emotional states of consciousness or emotional states. They are also pretty similar in the sense that an emotional state is something that belongs, is more human to speak about it like this because we can relate with it a bit more. Emotional states is when we are usually, when you go to work, you're usually in your work mode, people also call it sometimes, as if you are in your mental state that gives you the resources and the instruments you need to be able to work. And for example, when you are at work, you use the working mode on, and when you are with your family, you use your family mode on, and you use that certain state of consciousness, yes, that certain emotional state. And when we speak about life, life happens for us, and life will always invite us to read more pages, to read more pages, to read more pages, to know more about ourselves. And this is the way of life. And what happens is that we struggle with exactly this. We struggle with turning on the page. Turning on the page is something that we have difficulties with, because when we get familiar with a state of consciousness, usually we use them for years and years and years, and they have created patterns into our bodies. So to turn on the page, it feels like transforming ourselves and becoming a new person. And this comes with pain. And many of us, what do? We stay on the same page. We stay on the same page. We clench on the same state of consciousness because anything else can bring pain. And we are resistant towards pain many of the times. And the way of life is that things happen, yes? So I would like to invite you to imagine that there is wind here, and wind blows up the pages, yes? The wind turns them back and forth, and they move, and like that, and the wind turns the pages, just naturally turns the pages. And in life, there is always wind. And what do? We stay on the page that we know, we stay on the state of consciousness that we know, and we don't change. We hold on to it as if our life depends on it. And the wind blows and wants to change the page, but we don't let it. We stay stuck on this page because we know how things work on this page, and we understand this page, and we have comfort on this page, and we want this page. This page is good, this page is safe. We do not allow ourselves to change the page and to maybe recognize that, oh my God, look, this page is absolutely what I actually need. And this page has knowledge and wisdom that it actually makes me feel so much more supported and easeful in life. Us being stuck on what we know, we take our opportunity from ourselves to welcome something that we don't know yet, that may be actually even better for where we are and who we are. Yes? And these states of consciousness, they provide our body patterns, our mind patterns, our attitude towards life, our reactions towards life, but they are not who we are. And the cover of the book is the body, and the other side is the mind. And I like to think of the part that connects it all together, the body and the mind and the states of consciousness and all the attitudes and the thoughts and the feelings and everything. The, how do you call this part of the book is our soul experience, if you want, is our spine, is our energetical spine that we have and that we are, is who we are, is the truth of who we are. And all these are not who we are. They are our expression. They are the expression of the soul. They are the expression of these. And it's very good to understand that the way of life is just like that. The way of life is to let the wind blow through the pages, and this is where we want to go in life, to have this gentleness and flexibility, to not stay in the way of the wind and to let the wind to do its job, because the wind is powerful master and it doesn't have any kind of intention to manipulate or to do anything. And what we have to do is we have to trust the way of life and to trust that the wind blows now to the north. So we have to allow pages to turn, states of consciousness to change. The wind blows now to the south, so we have to let the pages to change, the states of consciousness to change. We have to allow. So what does this mean actually for us into our daily life? We have to become receptive containers where life can go through. I'm calling life wind in this metaphor, yes, in this analogy. We want to feel the wind. We want to let the wind blow us and to understand where does it come from and where does it go. And we want the body to be this receptor, this open, empty vessel through which the wind can naturally blow. When we hold onto this page and we do not let the wind to blow, what happens? We are getting familiar with this, but this, as the wind blows, starts to become heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And things just suddenly, shockingly change. Things happen in such a way that we are forced to change the page, because life has this way. The way of nature makes us to listen, because this is how the way of nature works. And us staying stuck on a certain page, on a certain state of consciousness, makes us completely unflexible. And then is when very abrupt things happen and very harsh things happen for us, because we have not been receptive before. So having this spaciousness and this openness into the body and into the mind to let pages change gives us the possibility to experience the wind from there, the wind is coming from the north side, so I can just maybe put myself in a certain position that will help me to have more, to just support this, to have more fluidity and continuity, to let life go through me. And this is big part of this is spiritual work. This is how we can actually go through this, because the body is not just the material body, it's also the spiritual body, the energy body, the emotional body, and the astral body. There are many bodies. There are 7 bodies, and we must bring them all together for us to be able to embrace life, the wind of life, and to let the wind blow naturally. We have to do some inner work. And us being resistant and not allowing the wind to blow or trying to manipulate the wind is going to blow in our face sooner or later, because it is not how things work. And I want for you to be like a feather that blows by the wind. And the states of consciousness that, states of consciousness are also like our identities. They are very powerful, and we connect with them, and we are identifying ourselves with them because we need safety, because of fear, basically. And I made a video on fear that I highly recommend you to watch. You can click on it here. And there are experiences that may make us feel that it's impossible to turn the page, or to let the wind blow, or to be flexible in relationship with life. But this is where we are invited towards. We are invited towards flexibility. We are invited towards non-attachment and complete surrender. So if sometimes you fall because there is so much resistance on a page, and sometimes we don't even realize that, and the wind blows, and there is, it's like a big tree that just falls. It's not like a bamboo tree who leans when the wind blows. You suddenly fall, and you break, and you suffer so deeply, and there is so much change that happens and transformation that happens into your life when something like this happens, because you have not had your awareness on to listen before. You can put yourself in a state of mind of listening, where you can welcome and you can witness transitions, and you can witness changes of the wind, and you can not be so surprised by what is going to happen. When our elders were looking at the sky, and they were like saying, oh, tomorrow will be raining because of the stars, because of the clouds, because of whatever, they were looking at the sky. They were inside their environment. They were involved in the nature. So they were not surprised by rain. Yes, today we are highly surprised by things that we should not be surprised of. We should not suffer so much about certain things simply because we can be aware of them. We are not because we are distracted, but we can. So my invitation for you is to be careful, and to bring attention into your life, and to put yourself into a state of listening. I want you to understand that the states of consciousness are not the truth. Think about this book. Yes, I'm reading this page of the book. Beautiful. It has all the beautiful information. But then there is also this page who has so much more information. And then there is also this page who has so much more information. And then there is also this page who... It's actually no information here. It's a blank page. Sometimes we have to write our story, yeah? So the way of life is forever changing and is impermanent. We don't have to get stuck on what is written on the page, on what is our identity in that state of consciousness. We have to look deeper. We have to see that what we actually have to be smart about is how we connect with the impermanence of life. We must understand life is impermanent, and how we engage with this impermanence is what will give us the possibility to have much more ease and flow and connection with what happens. And you can also have fun. This is where you can actually have fun, when you understand these energetics, when you understand the wind, when you understand life. When you pay so much attention as a default state of being, you are so much into the listening that whatever happens, you're like, oh, I can just put myself in this position and the wind will just blow much more. I will not even feel it, This can mean whatever. This can mean maybe a friend calling you and he's angry, and you have to meet him. So you noticing from the phone that he's angry, you can put yourself into a state where you can accept his state. You can check what is it that you want and who are you at the moment, and you can bring an attitude that will support both of you to come back together to the center. Yes, So, because sometimes when someone is angry, we feel entitled to, like, oh my God, why are you angry? You should not be angry. We just met, la 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 la. But sometimes these things happen. Yeah, sometimes our friends are angry, for example. And so, we can just arrange ourselves in such a way that we can support this other human being. We can bring some more peacefulness to this human being. We don't have to enforce our righteousness to that situation, but we can just let life blow. This is what I want for you. I want you to let life blow. I want you to be in a state of listening and to gently live your life. And whatever happens, you know that there is space to travel. Whenever something happens, and things will happen into our lives, know that you have spaciousness and resilience to be with what is, to go through you. This is the beauty, in this kind of state of life, you experience more, you feel more pleasure, you feel more pain. And when things have spaciousness to go through you, you deeply suffer or you deeply feel pleasure. And this is why this is very difficult to do when we are in a certain system, into the society of today. This is deeply difficult, and especially for women today. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible to stay stuck on the same page. We as women, we are meant to change. We are meant to be flexible. We are meant to blossom, and we are meant to be open. And the state of the society of today, it really requires us to be someone, to be like that. And this is simply not sustainable. This is simply not working for us, at all. So we have to be very smart about these things. And it's such a deep work. This is a deep work, because we have to have so much gentleness into the mind to not get stuck into the loops of the ego, which are painful. When the ego dies, it is so painful. And we have to go deeper and to understand that something inside of us died indeed, but it is not who we are. So whatever dies into our lives, whenever a page changes, it's okay. It's super okay. It's an invitation for you to have more wisdom. It's an invitation for you to know more about yourself. It's an invitation for you to open up even more and to surrender into the flow of life. The flow of life is to just be gentle. It doesn't matter what it's written on the pages. It doesn't matter who you are at the moment. It doesn't matter what is the information here, and not even what is the wisdom. What matters is that you keep your flexibility and you let the wind blow. This is what matters. Let the wind blow. Let life happen. Let life happen. Don't get stuck in who you are. This will change. Don't get stuck in what you want. This will change. Don't get stuck in what you're experiencing right now. This will change. Either you like it or you don't. This will change. This is what I want for you. I want you to keep your flexibility in life. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but the attitude you have towards life. This gentle, open attitude will take you so much further. So much further. And you can connect with parts of you that you long to connect with, but you don't know how. I deeply believe that this is something that we all want. We want to be flexible, to meet parts of ourselves in ease, in flow. And whenever we want something from the other, and this happens so much, and especially for women who just need the presence of another, who need something from another, who want something from another, or for men who just want things from the world and who just want to have things. This can come with so much more ease if you're smart enough to listen to the subtleties of life, and to let life change the pages. You don't have to stay stuck with what you know, because what is coming next can be so much better.